In this episode, we zoom into a conflict on the Algoryn world of Gigantu. Ever since the Sixth Age collapse, many of Gigantu's settlements have remained abandoned, but the Algoryn have been receiving recent reports of activity. When scout probes were dispatched to figure out what was going on, reports of the Virai were returned. The Vector class now moves forces in a response. Their intent? Destroy the Virai. Who will win out in this clash between metal and sinew? Find out in this episode of the Tabletop Warlords. What's up, everybody? I'm Kevin.
And I'm Sergey.
And we are the Tabletop Warlords. And once again, we find ourselves playing a game of Beyond the Gates of Antares, version 2. That's right, we're continuing forward in version 2 with the second scenario in the main rulebook.
Reinforce the position.
Like in our last report, we are going to be progressing in army size to the new kind of skirmish level, which is still force level 1, but 75 total points for either side.
I'm very excited because I'm going to be playing the Crab Clawy Virai in version 2. You're gonna get the clamps.
Whatever, I'm going to be playing as the arch nemesis of the Virai on our channel anyways, the Algoryn.
Yeah, I've never won this matchup.
I feel like you may have won once.
I don't know.
Not often.
It's a rough one. Also, we're excited because Kevin has a whole bunch of new terrain on the field today, which I gotta say, he did a pretty fantastic job on.
But before we roll out the table and show you the armies that we're going to be clashing with today, please help us support our channel the easiest way possible by just liking the video, leaving a comment below, and making sure that you're subscribed to the channel.
If you want to support our channel even further, you can support us via the affiliate link and the Teespring link below.
But the best way pan-humanly possible to support this channel is once again joining our ever-growing Patreon community, where any pledge gives you access to bonus content.
Speaking of patrons, we need to do a quick redaction of our last video because I accidentally fly-potted 2 of our new tabletop militia and created a horrible amalgamation with 8 arms and 3 heads.
Wait, where'd the 3rd head come from?
Well, and also only 4 arms. We had some arms lying around in the fly-pod machine. I can't be expected to clean up all my arms.
So to correct ourselves, we'd like to welcome our brand new tabletop militia, Ed Watson and Jamie Morris. Sorry about that, guys.
Unfortunately, the melding process from the fly pod is permanent, so you are now mod 2. Somebody get these guys some new staves.
And here we have my Algoryn army for today. It is going to be a skirmish force, force level 1, Vector Selector. That sounds amazing. To fill in the core choices at this force level, I have just simply taken 3 identical Vector AI squads, each 10 points. I have also decided to take a Reaver Assault squad at 13 points. To help back them up, I have a single Vector support team. It's 6 points base. I've swapped the Maglite support for a Mag Cannon, which is a free upgrade, and I've given them a spotter drone for a single point. To get my Reavers into combat quicker, I have also decided to take a Defiant Transport Skimmer. It's 17 points base, but I have upgraded it to have a Batterer Buddy, which is 2 points. The last unit I have is a single Targeter Probe Shard. Well, I guess you can only ever have one now, but it's going to help everybody else shoot, hopefully, and it's 5 points. I had a single point left over, so I've taken the army option of Block. And even though it's not going to come in play, every Vector force always gets the Distort Stability army option for free as well. My army is 75 points exactly, represented by 8 order dice on the battlefield.
This is my 75-point Virai list. I have used the Hive Selector because it's the only one, and of course this is force level 1. Starting off my army, I have to take an Architector, and I have chosen a Tertiary Instance Supervisor at 9 points with no upgrades. Filling in the rest of my compulsory choices, I had to take 2 constructor squads, and I've chosen worker constructor squads, also at 9 points with 0 upgrades. I've then opted to take 2 Hive Defender squads, and I've spent 1 point each to upgrade them to Assault Warriors, which you can now do. You used to have half Assault, half Defenders, now it's all Assault. Filling in my backline, I have 2 Virai weapons drones. Each one is 8 points, but I've spent 1 point on each, giving 1 a Maglite support and 1 a Mag Cannon. And finally, I have taken the best probe in the game, the STAA probes. They are 5 points base, but I spent my 1 remaining point on adding 1 extra probe to the unit, making it 6 points total. The Virai also receive a free army option in the form of Well Prepared, and my Architector provides me with a free army option in the form of Hive Summons. This entire list is 75 points, and it is represented by 8 order dice plus a reprogrammed dice for my Architector.
And here we have our wild battlefield for today. Like Sergey said earlier, there's a lot of new terrain pieces on the table today, and so we'll just look at those right off the get. I basically had watched Wylock's tutorial a million years ago on how to turn basic electrical boxes into sci-fi buildings, and I went hamskis on making quite a few. So I basically cracked open the bits box and just started gluing stuff to it. But I made sure that it aesthetically matched with our old buildings from the yesteryear. And Sergey's absolute favorite thing is this little experiment.
It's so cool.
I did modular magnetic wires so that it looked like, you know, these are not, I guess it makes everything look less futuristic, but you know what? We just can't help ourselves. Gritty is cool. But okay, so as far as the game terminologies, we're gonna have these buildings just count as buildings. There are doors, so we can totally run into them, but we're going to say that none of them provide really any ability to shoot out unless you jump on top of the roof. So there is that, and it mostly is gonna function as blocking terrain, in all honesty, with the setup and the fight that we have today. Now, these specific little pulsating buildings, we actually want them to be a little bit easier to move around on, and so instead of using the light building rules we created for version 1, we're just going to call this another area terrain that's going to have the same rules as a light woodland. So it is going to be difficult to run around and get into position, but it's going to provide two res, and then you can shoot through it. It'll be obscuring 8 inches just like the woodland. Now, there are other instances of light woodland in basically the corners of the map. We also have a lot of low scrub, which is the other area terrain, and then in the center is the only instance of a junkyard. And then everything else, of course, is just basically scatter and is not going to count for anything. And then as far as like the actual topography of the earth, Sergey did want to have a bit of high ground. And so he has high ground in his deployment zone. And that's going to count as kind of like a boulder field. We're going to give him +2 res as long as he's up on one of those hills. It's -1 to your agility if you're moving around in it. And then it's obscuring, I think, 4 inches, I want to say. Now, you're going to see a lot of smoke. That's just for looks. You know, when the Virai show up, they've got plasma flamers. Everything's on fire, so they're proceeding with a little smoke today. And while we're looking at him, we got the deployment for Sergey. He has 2 of his weapons drones just right up on high ground. You can't really see him, but he's got a tertiary instance hiding like a hero behind everything. And then he's got
like heroes.
Exactly. And then he has STAA probes kind of spread throughout the battlefield. And then on the Algoryn side, there's a single vector squad up in this building to start. I also have my Defiant transport skimmer loaded with an assault squad right there next to the building. And then in the low scrub in the deployment zone, I have a mag cannon team as well. And then I also have my targeters. They're kind of hard to see, but they have been spread out in a line, kind of matching the STAA probes. Now, there's going to be a lot more forces coming in on the table, but let's get those dice in the bag and see how it's going to go. Okay, going into turn 1, the Virai have a special dice in version 2. It's called the reprogrammed dice, but it basically gets in the bag as well. So that means that with the units and that special dice, the Virai have 9 going into turn 1, and the Algoryn have 8. But in this scenario, we can choose to have up to half of our troops either show up on turn 1 or on turn 2. So we must make that decision now. Ding! Blah. I'm using all of my dice.
I will be using most of my dice, but I'll be keeping 2 in reserve.
So that means going into turn 1, I'm gonna have all 8, and Sergey has chosen to have 7. Turn 1, die 1. Algoryn. My first order is going to use my Vector support team to perform a fire order with their mag cannon at the mag cannon adorned weapon drone. I am at 39 inches, making it long range. I need 5s to hit. I miss. I have a spotter drone, so I get a reroll. And I hit. So Sergey must contend with a strength 5 shot.
I am at 8s for my saves, and I'm good. But I do get a pin.
Virai.
I will perform a firing order to attempt to get rid of this pin, essentially. But I do need to pass on a leadership of 8, coming from my tertiary instance back here. And I do, I pass, so I'll be firing into Kevin's transport. I'll be at 5s to hit. Oh, and I miss. Virai. I'm going to perform a reprogram using my tertiary instance here. I do now, in version 2, have to pass a command test of 8. And I do. So his order dice goes back in the bag, and this guy gets a rally order. Virai. My mag cannon drone will once again fire into Kevin's transport, again hitting on 5s, no rerolls unfortunately, and I hit.
Light transport res is unfortunately only 11, so that means I save on 6s or lower, and I get a 5, so I'm good this time, but I do get a pin. Algoryn. I'm going to perform an advance order with my Defiant Transport, and we just looked it up in the rules. We just now realized vehicles can totally move into terrain and get cover bonuses, so I'm absolutely going to do that. Almost forgot I needed to roll a command test. I needed a 7, but I got a 4, so that's gone. And now I'm going to turn my little turret to fire once again at his mag cannon weapon drone on the hill. I will have 3 shots hitting on 3s, strike value 2. Oh hex yes, that's a 10, so I can't re-roll it, but I did get a lucky, and I got a 2. The lucky is irrelevant in this case because both are going to be on him. He only is going to fail on rolls of 10.
I'm good, but, oh well actually no, I don't get a pin because I am heavily armored.
Virai.
Nothing fancy here, I'm just doing a regular old run order and moving some constructors onto the field.
Algoryn. I'm gonna have one of my Vector AI squads run on from the field. I am gonna do just a normal run, so I need to do an agility test to see, 10, so they just failed, but it's no big deal, because once again in version 2, there is no such thing as like, you have to stop. So it only takes 4 inches to get up, which means I can move a further 3 inches, which is totally far enough. Virai.
The Virai, that was my Virai buzzing sound, I'm sorry. In advance, they're running onto the field just like their compatriots, getting right over here. Algoryn.
My next action is gonna have my next Vector AI squad come in from off the field, and this time I'm gonna be sprinting. Their agility is 5, I get a 4, so I'm good. And they're gonna have run 15 inches all the way up to behind this building. Algoryn again. My next moves will just be the targeter probes. They're going to be moving up closer so that I can maybe paint his weapons drones as targets in the next turn. Virai.
My Maglite support is going to fire into Kevin's transport. I may as well put a pin on it, or maybe I'll get a 1 and kill a drone. I don't know. I'm at long range and rapid fire, so it'll be 4s to hit. Oh, I mean, pretty good. I missed with 1, but I hit with 2.
I'm only failing on 10s because of the res of the scrub. And I'm good, but I do get a pin. Virai.
I will perform a reprogram order on this drone right here. I do need to roll less than an 8 or an 8 here, and I do. So his order dice goes back in the bag, and he receives a rally.
Algoryn. My Vector squad in the building is gonna go next. This starting position is really not that advantageous. It helped them in the beginning, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sprint up into this junkyard, which is gonna require, actually how far is it? Yeah, I'm gonna be really dangerous and attempt to sprint. So first the sprint check, I passed the sprint check, now the agility test, and I failed the agility test. So 6 inches to get to the terrain, which means I'll be able to get 4.5 inches into the terrain. So basically exactly where I wanted to land anyways. Final position right about there. Virai.
I'm going to move with my STA probes and kind of focus on gaining some res bonuses here. Popping up into this building, popping up into this building, wobbling a little bit. This STA will get way up here, and this STA will, this seems like actually a pretty cool spot here. It might block some line of sight, but they're all firing into this squad at 6s. Well, I missed 2, but it doesn't matter because the maximum hits I can get is 3. Just like in version 1, this unit essentially now counts as having 3 targeter probes, so +3 to hit until they move.
Algoryn. I shall attempt an advance with my drone again, my Defiant Transport rather. I pass, losing the pin. I'm going to actually leave cover, which is super dangerous, but at this point it's like I'm so exposed to all of Sergey's guys that it's not gonna matter that much hiding. I'm gonna fire all 3 shots with my mag light support into the weapons drone that has not gone. Hitting on 4s. Oof. Well, oh, what am I doing? Not oof. I have a spotter drone, so I hit twice. I hit 3 times. So Sergey, you must pass 3. You only fail on 10s once again.
I'm good, but I do get a pin. No, I don't. I'm heavily armored.
Algoryn. My assault squad is going to be disembarking from the Defiant transport, and I'm going to be sprinting to basically the edge right here. I'm gonna perform my sprint check first, and I fail, so I'm gonna have a pin, and then I'm gonna get my terrain test, and I fail that as well. So I'm just going to get a ½ inch further back than I was aiming for. And that is their final position.
For my final order, I'm going to be performing a firing order with my Maglite support drone. I'm obviously very torn. Like, they have a pin, but they have 3 marker lights. I think I'm gonna shoot at the guys with the marker lights. 8s to hit. Wow, I still missed one. That's fine, I hit you twice.
My res is from 7 to 8 down to 6 because he's strike value 2. I'll take one on the leader and a normal trooper. So they're both fine and I get a pin.
Turn 1 was very much a maneuvering turn. The Algoryn have sprinted out into the center of the field and suffered some fire, but was able to weather the storm. It is still anyone's game with no casualties.
Going into turn 2, the Virai now have all 9 of their order dice. Those 2 having to test now to come onto the field, but Sergey's coming on, it's not gonna be hard. And there's 8 on the Algoryn side. Turn 2, die 1, Algoryn. It's gonna be mag cannon on mag cannon violence. Fire order into his mag cannon. I have accuracy 6, down by 1, so it's a 5 with a reroll. Miss.
Come on. Cocked.
5 hits.
Feeling a 9 or 10, and I'm good, but I do get a pin.
The Virai.
My Maglite support drone is going to fire into this marker lit squad over here. I am hitting on like nothing. Yeah, everything
Nothing.
hits.
Well, 1 is important.
The 1 is important actually.
So you just got a lucky hit. I will take the non-luckies on a leader and a normal guy.
I'll be putting my lucky hit on one of Kevin's grenadiers.
So here's the leader and the regular guy first, saving on 6s again. So that is a fail on the regular guy, so it's a death. The leader's fine. And the grenadier's fine as well. Virai.
I'll be performing a firing order with my mag cannon. I do have a pin, so I have to pass my command test. And I do. And I am hitting on, man, I think only 10s.
Who are you shooting?
Your unit with 2 pins already.
Okay.
And I hit.
I will be taking it on a leader, so my res is 7 up to 9 down to 4. And I fail on a 10. And I fail on a 5, so the leader is now dead. Algoryn. I will perform a recovery order with the center unit that has been marked 3 times. Oh my god, I failed.
Oh no!
I think you still lose 1 pin.
I believe so, let's double check that.
Oh, nope, on a 10, you don't lose any pins, so they still have 3 pins and they are also down now. Virai.
I'll be reprogramming with my Architector onto this unit here, and I'll be rolling its command test. And I pass. Virai. My Maglite support drone will fire into Kevin's 3-pinned AI squad. I don't want him getting back up. I'm just gonna grind him into the dirt.
Brutal.
Hitting on 8s. And I'm good, but he is down. And all good. Number of the beast.
The surviving squad is 2 grenadiers and a regular guy, all res 6. So 1 grenadier fails with a 9, the other 2 are fine with 7s. And another grenadier's dead. I only got 2 people. And that's not cocked, that's gone. That's 8, so I'm gone. Algoryn. My Vector troops on my left flank are gonna be running over here. It's gonna be a sprint test. And I fail with a 6, so they're gonna have a pin.
Algoryn.
My Defiant transport is going to advance into the junkyard, getting a 2. That pass means I'm gonna get into this terrain, getting a +2 res bonus, and now I'm gonna fire all 3 of the Maglite support shots into the mag cannon, which has not gone a second time using reprogram yet. I'm inaccurate, so it's 4s to hit. And I can't re-roll the 10, but I can re-roll the 7. And I got 2 3s, so Sergey, you must pass 2 saves.
I am heavily armored. And I'm good.
Virai.
My tertiary instance will reprogram my mag cannon. Once again, it is 8s. And I'm good. Algoryn.
My Vector troops are going to attempt to advance out of the forest that they're in. And they do with a 2. They do with a 2. And I'm gonna move them over here. And then they are going to fire everything they got into his mag cannon drone on the hill. I'm gonna be hitting on 3s with all the mag guns, on 2s with the overload ammo. Ooh, I hit you with a lucky on the overload, as well as I almost hit you with the other overload, but I hit once with a mag gun. So let's see here. I'll just re-roll. Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna go for broke and try to re-roll the overload. And I got it! So that's 2 overloads on strike value 3 and 1 mag gun. So this you're passing on 10, these you're passing on 10 as well.
Oh, he got me with the overload, which means he's rolling on the chart and I'm not heavily armored for that shot. While Kevin is lucky and scored a hit and made me not heavily armored, which super sucks, I do have the ace special rule because of Repair Swarm, which allows me to augment whatever he rolls on the damage chart by 1.
Now this is one of those annoying charts in Antares where rolling high is bad. So I rolled a 2, which is good. Or wait, no. What am I talking about? This is the way it's supposed to be. Don't listen to me. Now it's important to note that this chart, rolling low is good, and I really screwed up saying that in the last tag. So I have rolled a 2. Now Sergey may choose to increase that by 1 or decrease it by 1. He should increase it by 1 so I destroy him for sure. So the result of a 2 is obviously what Sergey does not want. So he's used ace to make it the result of a 3, which means I have scored a D4 plus 1 pins. So I have scored 4 total pins, and now Sergey must make a break test.
Now for the moment of truth. I only passed this test on a 4. Oh, and it's a 10.
Bye-bye, weapons drone. Explosions, fire.
Algoryn.
For my next move, my targeters will now swarm around the mag light support weapons drone, who has not or has been used twice. And this one is gonna be like, woo, and hide and just watch from up here. Safety. Virai.
I'll be performing a run order with my constructor squad, and they're not even gonna move their full 10 inches and just kind of get right behind this building, keeping themselves as covered as humanly possible. Algoryn.
My Defiant Transport Skimmer is going to perform a fire order, standing still and just firing into that now targeted up weapons drone. With all my bonuses, I'm hitting on 8s. So, oof, I still missed twice. The 10 I can't re-roll, but I can re-roll that one. So I've had 2 hits, and Sergey must contend with that, saving on 10s.
All good.
Virai.
I'm going to lurk in the shadows of this urban sector and just run these guys over here.
I definitely put too much terrain on this battlefield, but I don't care. It looks great.
It's urban. It's a city fight. It should feel like this. Final position.
Virai.
I'll be moving my STAAs. This guy is going to get right up on this building, facing this, what we found out to be a sitting duck unit over here. This STA is going to go here, and this STA is going to go over here.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna fly him here so he can't get hit by Kevin hitting the building. That would suck. Now that'll be 3 shots at 6s. My remaining 2 STAs will target the Reaver Assault Squad just in case he goes down. On Kevin's back AI squad, I only hit once. That's not great. And on Kevin's front AI squad, or Reaver squad, I hit twice. Algoryn.
I'm going to attempt an advance with this unit of Assault Reavers. I have a pin. And I fail, and I go down.
I have the last 2 order dice in the bag, and both of them are my assault squads. My first assault squad will come in from the center of the field here. I need a 7 to get in, and I do. Now this car we decided doesn't count for anything. There's just some like dudes in there watching the battle, and they're like, oh crap, warriors, run! So this guy is going to get right here, and the rest will follow in behind him.
Are you within 10 inches of my guys?
I hope so. I really hope so.
Oh, thank Jesus.
No, I'm not, so it's gonna be long range. Kevin has 1 STA tag, and I am at long range, so I'm hitting on 5s. Wow, all hit, and I got a lucky.
Leaf.
I will be doubling up on one of Kevin's X launchers with my lucky hit.
Sergey's at strike value 2, so I'm saving on 5s. First, my leader. Fails, reroll, is fine. The first grenadier that has the lucky on it is dead. The next grenadier is fine. And the last guy is dead.
I'll attempt to place my next assault squad. They have movement 6, so I can kind of nestle just in front of this one. It's a 7s once again to get on, and I fail, but I'll use my Hive Summons to re-roll that. And I'm good with a 1, which doesn't matter.
So is that an army option? Can you only do that once?
Yeah, it's an army option that's given to me free by my Architector, so it's used now, but I can't use it on anything else, so it's a good timing. This is my final position, and I'll obviously be firing into that Vector squad just the same as last time. Way worse shooting than last time, but it is a lucky, which is nice.
So Sergey just opted to have the Grenadier take the lucky, so they're both saving on 5s, and he's lucky, the Grenadier's dead. So now that is half my unit to shooting, and I rolled a 7, so that unit is out. The only down order on the field is the assaults, and oh my god, they stay down. I just lost.
Turn 2 was both a blood and oil bath. This weapons drone was utterly decimated by a unit that was then melted by flame weapons in kind. Also, there was melting going on over here as well, which obviously spooked this unit to the point where they are not getting up from the ground. The Algoryn are on the back foot, but they still have a chance.
Going into turn 3, the Algoryn are not going to be holding on for much longer. They only got 5 order dice because 1 is still on the field, and the Virai are moving strong with 8. Turn 3, and it's the Algoryn. My Vector squad in amongst the buildings here is going to attempt an advance order. I got a 5, so I lose the pen. I'm basically just going to be walking right out into the open and shooting everything I got at effective range into that drone with 3 targeters still on it. Everyone hits on 8s, the overloads hit on 7. So everybody but a 0, or this hit fails and I can't reroll it because it's a 10.
10s across the board, and I'm good, but I do get a pin.
Virai.
My Maglite support drone is going to advance, firing into this unit here, but he has to pass a command test on a 7. Oh, and doesn't, and goes down. Virai. My assault squad is going to sprint to all the way behind this building, so they do have to do a sprint check. They actually pass, which is sweet. They have 6 movement, which means they have 18 inches of range, which means the farthest.
The stiletto slides towards my armor plate.
Yes, exactly.
I'll be dead in a moment.
Algoryn.
Not sure what to do at this point in time, so I'm just gonna turn my mag cannon and fire right into these guys right over here. Now
Makes a lot of sense.
Gearing myself with my own terrain, but it is a fire order, so I'm hitting on 4s, and I do have a spotter drone. So, well, 1, it's a lucky. Doesn't really matter, but their res is now down to 2. Or 3, rather.
3s? 10. 1 is dead.
The only one I can see, too. Whoop! Algoryn. Once again, this is desperate times, so I'm gonna attempt a run order, because I don't think in advance I'd be able to see anybody. Yeah, he's pretty much hidden pretty well around the corner. So, I'm gonna do a run, that's the agility, I'm sorry, which I passed with a 4. And so I can move 10 inches, and I'm now occupying this position.
Virai. I'm going to creep along the back of this building with these constructors who have done nothing but skulk.
They'll get there.
And a skulking they shall continue.
Algoryn. I will use this just to position the single targeter who is playing it safe over attached to this unit right here. And then the other 3 are just gonna stay attached to the other weapons drum because they're not gonna move that far. Algoryn. I've set this up. I'm gonna fire after Tokyo drifting into this alleyway, into this unit that I now have 1 targeter on, so I'm gonna be hitting on 5s. Okay, everything hit but 1. Oh, that's a 3, I'm counting that landed on a dice.
Did you just roll 5 dice?
Oh, whoops, yes I did, I only get 3 shots.
Okay, well, but you hit with everyone, so I'm not giving you the lucky, but I'll give you the roll.
I'll take that.
My res is 8 down to 6s.
Oh!
And that's 3 dead. Well, that's brutal. I do now have a second pin, and I have to take a command check, and yeah, the unit's dead. It is time to drop the hammer.
Oh my god.
With my first order dice, my SDA probes have swarmed this unit here and are firing into that one, and then I have an SDA probe all the way over here that is going to fire into the unit that already has 2 probes on it. 6 is to hit, and I hit with 2, so I'll put 2 SDA tags on this unit, and then a 6 to hit here, and I hit, putting them down, so I missed. My assault squad needs to roll a sprint check, which they fail, unfortunately, so they do get a pin, but they're going to adopt the spot where all of their friends died.
Ooh, they can run 18 inches.
Not too sentimental, yeah.
I forgot they had 6. Rough.
I'm going to attempt to reprogram this unit. I need to pass on an 8, and I do. So this unit's dice goes back in the bag, but he's down, so he has to roll to recover it, which he does. I'm immediately going to then fire with this unit. Actually, I'll advance to get rid of the probes into Kevin's mag cannon way on yonder.
Bullcrap.
All things considered, and my SDA tags, I am hitting on 6s. And that'll be 2 hits, one of which is a lucky.
Well, I'm obviously taking one of them on the gun, so where are you gonna put your lucky?
I'll put it on a crew member.
So this is only gonna fail on a 10. My res of 7 is up by 1 to 8, brought down to 6s for the regular guy. So regular guy's dead, gun is fine. So now that team is like considered at some kind of detriment. I am now at half casualties from shooting, so I must pass the test, and I do, so I'm good.
My last order will be a run with this unit over here, and they're just going to hug behind this building, and that's my final position.
Well, these guys were really scared the last turn, and thank God they're not scared this turn, so I get the dice back, and that was the only one down.
The fighting intensifies. The Algoryn skimmer has drifted around this quarter, immediately eliminating some drones, but the drones are poised to strike. This turn will be violent.
Going into turn 4, the Algoryn have been whittled down to 6 dice, and the Virai only got 7 now.
This is a pivotal dice.
Ooh, the only hope I have is to do a fire order at point blank range into these guys again and hope I do well. Oof, all 3 missed. That's what Sergey wants to see. I hit once.
And I'm good.
Virai, but I possess a block, and so I shall use it.
Dun dun dun.
Ah!
You're shaking that around. You take your hand out. Take your hand out. You can feel the warmth. I know it.
I just have a thing. Yes!
Ah!
Okay, running at this point would just delay the inevitable, so I'm gonna stand my ground and do another fire order with the Defiant right into the assaults.
Miss.
Oof, 1 hit, 2 misses this time. Please. Yes, and it's a lucky. Oh, God bless America. Yeah, I will stack it on 1 guy. Yes! Virai.
I'm going to charge his tank with my Virai. They do have Savage Strike, so they only fail on a 10 here. Woo! Oh, geez. There's sweat dripping down my brow, but I am getting into combat with this thing. It's a drone fight.
Do you still lose a pen?
Yeah.
Okay, so I still have a spotter drone, and that means that I am going to decide to use rapid fire shooting in point blank. So I will get 3 shots, but I'm unfortunately only hitting on 3s because it's a rapid fire weapon and a light support being used in point blank.
I am hitting on 4s, strike value 3.
Please! Ooh! That's 1 hit. So that one's still a miss. And I'm re-rolling with the spotter. Oh, I hit twice, Sergey!
Reroll, because I sprinted.
Damn it!
Virai? Wow, terrible shooting, but 1 lucky.
I am 11 down to 8, so I'm fine.
My Rip Claws are hitting on anything except for a 10.
Yeah.
I rolled 2 10s, wow. Either way, this has compounded well past. He needs a 1 to fail.
Yeah, so that's strike value 12. And I got a 7, so we roll in the damage chart. And I got a 2, which is like one of the worst things possible to roll. It's a D5 plus 1 extra pins. Oh, so that's 7 pins you added, and I have to immediately take a break test, which I fail, and so Sergey has destroyed my transport. That's high quality effects right there.
And my final position, I am once again skulking back into the cityscape.
Yeah. Virai.
I'll be firing with my weapons drone all the way once again into his cannon, hopefully getting that order dice out of the bag because I only need one more to break him.
I'm going to attempt to react by running to cover. And I got a 6, which is exactly what I need because my initiative is 7 with 1 pin. And so I am going to run. There's no test required for the scrubland, so I'm just gonna be behind that and nullify his attack. Oh yeah, that safely gets me all the way over here. Virai.
I'm going to attempt to reprogram my weapons drone, and I do, so his dice goes back in the bag. Virai. And another firing order coming from the weapons drone going into the assault squad. 7s, and all hits.
My cover nullifies his strike value, so my guys have 7s. Whoops. And I'm all good, but I do get that annoying pen. Algoryn! I have to get these guys out of the center of the field before they're just killed for no reason, so I must pass a leadership test. And it's a 3, I'm sorry. Now the all-important agility test to get to, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even say the target of this is gonna be these assault troops.
Yeah, and he does have to pass.
Why it's so important. And I'm good, thank the Lord. So these guys are going to whoop.
Oh boy. Whoop. We might kill each other here.
Oh, I have to do a spread check too, I'm sorry.
You already
Yes.
did it, I thought.
No, I did a leadership.
Oh, gotcha.
There's so many rolls, and I just passed every last one of them. Now, I have mag. Well, can you chuck grenades?
Yeah.
So I'll just chuck grenades. They're strike value 1, rather than just plinko you with 1,000,000 shots.
That's fair.
I lied. I'm doing rapid fire. It's a gamble, but whatever. Four's the hit. I do have a spotter drone. Yes, that's a terrible gamble. Okay. So I hit 3 times. I get a reroll once, and I miss. So I got three hits, and Sergey has 8s to save.
Oh, yes! He killed one. And I get a pin. Shooting back, hitting on 3s. And I miss.
That means I got 5 guys going in, and all the most important decision is how I'm gonna utilize my D-spinner. I could get +2 res, making my guys go up to 9, but I'd only have strike value 0 hits, or I can use my 2 strike value 2 hits that compound. I've never done it before, but since he already has 3 pins, I'm just gonna go for survival. So my guys have 2 strikes each that do not compound at strike value 0, but my res has been elevated to 9.
I once again have Rip Claws, which will be hitting on anything except for a 10 at strike value 2.
I charge and I have hand weapons, so I'm hitting on 7s. Ooh, I only miss once.
One guy is good. Second guy is dead. Third guy is good. Strike backs. I hit with everything.
So since I have 5 individual, one of them is going to compound. I'll take the compounded hit on the leader because he gets paid the big bucks. The leader will save on 5, everybody else on 7. Come on, Lady Luck. Oh, Lady Luck hates me. I lost 3 guys. So those 2 survived. I lost 3, giving me 3 pins, but Sergey got a 4th pin, so he must now test on 4s or lower.
My command is actually only 7, so 3s are lower. No, he beats me.
Well,
Blood splatter sprays across the forest floor.
I killed them, but the problem is that in the process, I have now lost basically my whole unit.
This has been a very violent battle. It's like straight up Mortal Kombat on this field right now.
My final position after consolidating, I'm just gonna go into this so that I get +2 to my res. Finish me!
You can skulk if you wanna. You can leave your friends behind. But if you don't skulk, then you're no friend of mine. I'm going to burst from the shadows and
quit your day job, sir, okay?
Listen, my album is dropping this summer. I expect all of our patrons to buy it.
Oh my god. This is Sergey's mixtape.
So I passed my sprint. So I'm just, gonna get at you. In point blank shooting, I'm using my fusion cutters. So I have 6 shots hitting on 5s, all strike value 2.
And I will be returning fire with my glorious mag repeaters, heading on 2s.
I'm just gonna go first. And I miss with everything, but I do get a single reroll, and I miss with a 10, so insult to injury.
Fusion cutters? Not so great. But not bad either. I hit twice.
So, I have 2 individuals left. My res cancels out his strike value, so I'm at 7. And so my leader is dead. Now, I think that means that I'm dead, because I just took another pin. I'm at half units. And then that means I break. And so...
We are the champions, my Virai friends.
What a brutal battlefield. But the
Yes.
Algoryn, unfortunately, have lost the day.
They got the clamps!
Well, that was painful, but I'm at least happy that I killed a bunch of your guys at the absolute last
you were off camera. Kevin was very dour, but I think you had a
Let's
chance
be honest,
most
off
of
camera,
that time.
I'm usually down.
Yeah, I like shoot once at Kevin. He gets like one
I'm gonna
pin,
lose.
and he's like, "Wah!" I am very excited that the Virai at this point level can do that little tertiary instance 2 weapon drone combos.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of really hard to pull off in version 1 just because of how restricted the Virai were and how they built. But it's possible in version 2, which makes me really excited. And in list building, the Virai really felt like they opened up a little bit. There's still a lot of restrictions, but they're a lot easier to kind of finagle around into a really fun list.
Well, it's like, I feel like it forces you to make a horde, but it themes the horde for you. 'Cause it's
Exactly,
Like, you
yeah.
basically have even amounts defenders and constructors at the end of the day.
Well, it's borderline necessary too, because like I had to have 2 constructors. I could only have a defender squad per constructor squad, and I could only have a weapons drone per defender squad.
Yeah,
so I kind of like
daisy
just
chains.
built it like Lincoln Logs up
Mhm.
to get what I wanted.
And I also like it, I don't know if you mentioned it, but Sergey did spend a lot of time repainting, touching up his Virai.
yes,
I like them, they
we've
look
both
great.
been doing that. You did that to your algorithm.
Oh yeah, I'll
too.
say I was like,
Yeah.
the coolest thing about version 2 is, I've joked about this before, is that I never ran any probes with Algoryn ever.
Yeah,
because
your
I
algorithm probes
never-
look really nice.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But like I never needed them. I was never forced to take them, and so it gave me the excuse of doing those. And then when I was doing those, I just started repainting my Algoryn, because it was like way back in the day with the Bronvar campaign
Mhm.
that I basically like spray primed my Algoryn, painted their shoulders orange, and then was just like, I'm done. I have no more time.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I did with the Virai too. And
Yeah.
then one night I was like, oh, I hate my Virai, and I put like green lines all over them because I was trying to figure something out. It didn't look good.
Now they
So-
look good though.
And they
It
look
looks
pretty good. They're
Yeah.
like very like, you know, Tron-esque in a weird way. I still don't know if it's the coolest paint job in the world, but you know what? They're painted.
Yeah.
No one can ever take that away from me.
And I'm very happy that my Algoryn now look like serviceable. It was sad because now they are really cool models and they're
Yeah.
way better showcased. But I think my list was good. I would say, even though the transport did the best for me combat wise by far, it still just struggles. Like the fact that it's a Maglite support gun. If it was like a T7 for the Concorde or maybe the Freeborn, that
Mhm.
strike value 3 definitely.
Is it cheaper than theirs?
I'm not sure. It might be
I don't know.
by like maybe a point or
It has
two.
better payloads.
But I
than
did
theirs.
spend money on the battlefield, and
Mm.
since we did specifically for this one, even though it was like a very crazy table, we did kind of do like the old school, like
But yeah,
we
building
just-
the table for advantage, like as if you were in a tournament,
Yeah.
going you go, I go. So like
Uh-huh.
I got the hill I wanted, Kevin got the line of sight blocking stuff he wanted.
yeah.
So we kind of played for advantage, which did mitigate your battlefield, which kind of
Yeah.
sucked.
In retrospect, though, we wanted to use all the new buildings just because they're fun, and it was
Mhm.
cool to have so many buildings. But for you guys' games and our future games, we'll probably only see this many buildings on the table if
When
there's,
we
like some kind
design
of
a
narration.
scenario around.
Yeah, because that was the one thing, is that my Algoryn have never lost really against the Virai because they usually shoot them to death on the approach. And in this one, I gave plenty of avenues to hide. We had the high ground, so it mitigated most everything else, and so it didn't
well, and
really turn
also
into
the
a turkey
scenario
shoot.
gave me like a pincer, which
Yeah.
was particularly advantageous.
But it was still just, I mean, a lot of it was just the dice rolls. I mean, if I would have rolled a few dices better, the whole battle would have changed. So it wasn't a horrible list, but I would say I'll probably in the future at this point level replace the transport with probably just another Vector squad and maybe a Vector support team, because
That's not a bad idea.
yeah, because for 19 points, I could have definitely squeezed in a whole nother whatever, and then maybe even had some more army options. But I will say that this was the most, the block was one of the
Yeah.
best usages of that army option in this one. It really helped out. But either way, it was a fun fight. If you really enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed producing it for you guys, absolutely help us support the channel in the easiest way possible by liking the video. Making sure to comment below. We like to answer most of our comments, really. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so.
If you want to support the channel even further, we have an affiliate link that'll bring you to the Warlord store. Anything you purchase there will give me and Kevin a small commission. And we have a spring link where you can purchase TTW swag. You'll look fresh to death.
But the best way pan-humanly possible to help support our channel is by joining our ever-growing Patreon community. No matter what pledge you get bonus content, and we're hopefully going to be producing more of that for our patrons here soon. And on the note of our patrons, we actually have a new one.
Simone Ristori raises the great glaive of the tabletop champion. It's like 10 feet long, but he wields it like a toothpick. He's a maniac on the field.
Wait, it's 10. He wields it as if it's smaller?
Yeah,
Like
it's very
does
light.
He put his fingers close up
No,
and twirls it with nothing?
It's very light because he's very strong.
I didn't imagine weight first. Either way, the weapons will be strong enough for you to fight our most feared foes, and we cannot appreciate your pledge of support enough. Thank you, Simone. And as always, we need to thank our loyal cadre of tabletop commanders.
Elizabeth Allen,
Amelia,
Nick Hobbs,
Les Stevenson,
Will Connell, and we have to thank our fellow tabletop warlords, Michael Crow,
and Knight Silver.
and as always, we have to thank our Emperor,
John Roberts. Long may he reign.